In this video, I'm going to be speaking to you about 8 huge money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back today to a brand new video on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, just before we jump into this video today, if you are new around here, I would love to just invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on that notification bell. We're uploading a ton of daily free business, entrepreneurship, self-improvement, and social media marketing content. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss another upload. Now, this video I'm filming today is so important. These are lessons that I wish I learned when I was kind of 18, 19 and early 20s. You know, at the time of filming this right now, I'm 24. Finally, over the last kind of 12 to 24 months, after spending tens of thousands of dollars on self-investment, self-improvement, learning everything I could about business, entrepreneurship, finance, how to make money, how to invest money, and things like that, I finally got my finances on track. But the truth is, all of these things I'm going to teach you today, these mistakes to avoid, are so simple that I wish somebody taught me this 4 or 5 years ago, okay? So by making this video today, a lot of you guys who are in your 20s, maybe you're, 17, 18, almost in your 20s, and to be honest, maybe you're even in your 30s and 40s, it doesn't really matter, but a lot of these tips will be tailored towards 20-year-olds, but then again, they still kind of work for everyone. So without further ado, let's hop into mistake number 1. Now, the first thing I see happen all of the time with people in their 20s wasting money on flashy clothes, flashy bags, flashy watches, flashy cars that realistically they cannot afford. Okay, and I see this all the time. So many people, and I understand that when you're young, you want to impress, you want to be cool, right? But the truth is, financially, it's not cool. It's completely stupid. Now, I'm not saying don't ever treat yourself to nice things. If you like designer clothes and it makes you feel good about yourself, okay? If you like surrounding yourself with luxury things in order to kind of visualize where you want to be one day and what you want to have one day, that's fine. But if you're spending all of your money you've got, down to the last penny, on flashy watches, if you save up and it takes you 6 months, even 12 months of savings to buy a Rolex, the truth is you cannot really afford a Rolex. And this happens all the time where people spend money to impress people that they do not even like, okay? Do not be that person. I'd rather have a $10 bag with $290 in it than a $300 designer bag, okay? So be smart and don't waste your money on fancy things that you do not need. The second money mistake I see all the time is when people spend money on fancy cars, again, that they cannot afford. And this happens all of the time. I understand people want to drive nice cars. People want to drive nice things, okay? It's understandable. But when you're young and you don't have a ton of money, let's say you make $2,000 a month, if you then go ahead and pay $500 a month on your car plus insurance, maybe taking it up to $700, that really isn't a smart decision, okay? Most people end up spending 30, 25%, even sometimes up to like 50% of their take-home money and earnings on a car, which is absolutely ridiculous because a car is a liability. It depreciates over time, okay? If you buy it today and then sell it in 2 years, not only is it cost you money on insurance, cost you money on fuel, but when you sell it, you're gonna sell it for probably 20, 30, 40, 50% less than you actually purchased it a couple years beforehand. To give you an example, I was making $10,000 a month in my business and still actually driving a Citroen C1, which is a tiny 1-litre car. It cost me a couple of £1,000s. I bought it up front in cash, had no road tax. My insurance was absolutely cheap as chips, but I was making enough on paper to technically be able to go out and buy a much more expensive car. In the beginning, that $500, $600, $700 a month that you would spend on your car and your insurance is much better invested back into your business, invested into assets, okay? Over time, as you get more predictability of income, as your income starts to scale, if you want to upgrade your car, by all means do it, okay? But if you're making $2,000 a month, don't then spend $500, $600, $700 a month on a car just to try and impress people, again, that you don't even like. The third money mistake I see made all of the time is that people, as they get pay rises, their cost of living also increases with that. Now, the really sad thing about this is this means you're never going to get out of that paycheck to paycheck system where you're just living paycheck to paycheck. You never build up any real kind of savings behind you. You never really invest into any kind of assets. Instead, all you're doing is living at your means, and in some cases even living above your means. And to give you an example, let's say you're making $2,000 a month and you're spending $2,000 a month, okay? Let's say you then get a pay rise to $3,000 a month. The smart thing to do is to keep your cost of living the same, keep all your expenses the same, and put that $1,000 a month into savings, into assets, into stocks and bonds, into real estate, into business, whatever it may be, okay? But what most people instead do is they make their actual living expenses then increase as well. Okay, so this way what happens means you're never going to be able to get out of that paycheck to paycheck system because you're always spending as much as you're earning. Money mistake number 4 is that you do not invest your money. Now, the key thing here, again, it isn't the amount that you invest. Obviously, the more money you can invest, the better. But the key is that you just get started. No matter how old you are, the younger, the better. And even if it's only $100 a month, $200 a month, 10% of your income, okay, whatever it may be, you just need to start investing today and be consistent with that, because $100 a month might not seem like a ton of money, okay, but if you invest it into the right things and you take into consideration things such as compound interest, over time that money can really compound, and by the time that you're 60, 70, 80, all of that money would have appreciated so much in value. So you can go onto Google very easily and type in compound interest calculator, take a little look into it, do some research into it, and after a few minutes you'll find how powerful compound interest can be. And anyone who knows anything about compound interest will know that the difference between starting at age 30 and age 20 with something as little as $100 a week invested is essentially hundreds and hundreds, if not millions of dollars difference in a 10-year period. So the key is here to build that habit. Be consistent, even if it is only $100, $50, $20, $200, whatever it may be. Be consistent and build that habit of investing every single week, every single month. And there are a ton of things you can invest in. You can invest in stocks, you can invest in bonds, you can invest in real estate, you can invest in real estate investment trusts. Again, go out and do your research before putting money anywhere. But again, if you can take the time to learn about it, learn about investing, and start investing money as soon as possible. The 5th big money mistake I see people make all of the time is that they do not invest money into self-education. And as Jim Rohn once said, self-education will make you a fortune, formal education will make you a living, right? It's not necessarily about going and learning at school, going to university. I'm talking about self-education. I'm talking about reading books, watching YouTube videos from entrepreneurs, investors, successful people, millionaires, billionaires. I'm talking investing into mentors yourself, investing into coaching courses. I'm talking buying courses and training programs and joining Facebook groups and indulging yourself in information about investing, about business, about finance, about how to make money, about how to have better relationships, about spirituality, and becoming somebody who is obsessed with self-mastery. The sad thing is, most people stop learning when they leave school. So they leave school at 17 and they don't learn anything then really until they die. There's so many people on this planet that never read a book in their whole lifetime, okay? You do not want to be like that. Get obsessed with self-education. Spend money on self-education, courses, books, training programs, okay? I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on my own self-education and it has completely transformed my life. It's a better investment than any stock market, any real estate purchase, any trust could ever get me. And if you are interested about learning money and finance, I really recommend recommend, you know, starting with how to make money books, also investing books, and learning financial literacy as well. Now, the sixth money mistake that I see people make all of the time, and this is a mistake I made, is going to university and getting in debt when you have absolutely no direction of what you want to do, and you're going to uni just kind of for the sake of going to university. Now, I did this, right, and I got myself in 50 grand worth of student debt, plus because I was actually stupid with my money, I actually got myself in my own bank account in debt as well, and overall financially it was a really bad decision. Now, whilst I learned a ton about life skills at university, it was the first time I went to live on my own, you know, those skills are not worth 50 grand to me. And, you know, I'm going to be paying back my student loan for degrees that I never even got. Now, most people go to university kind of because society tells them to, but really they're going to go to university and they're going to get a degree in something that they don't even want to do for the sake of going. Now, unless you want to be a doctor, if you want to be an accountant, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a lawyer, and you generally, like you, not your parents, not society, not your friends, you want to do that, then that's absolutely fine. Go to uni, you know, that is an investment for you. That university debt is an investment for you to get on the career path that you want to do. But if the career that you want to go in, if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to start your own business, okay, if you want to be a personal brand, become an influencer, whatever it may be, going to university really isn't a great financial decision, because essentially you are getting yourself in debt. So my only advice to you is, you know, if you're in early 20s right now, maybe you haven't yet gone to university, but you're thinking about it, take a long think about what you really want to be and where you want to be in 20 years. And if university isn't something that kind of helps you towards that path of where you want to be in 10, 15, 20 years, then my recommendation may be to think hard and long about whether it's worth that investment or that money to actually go in the first place. So the seventh huge money mistake that I see people make all the time is when they say a penny saved is a penny earned, okay? That is the most stupid and annoying quote ever, because a penny is still a penny, right? No matter whether you save a penny or what you do with a penny, it is still a penny. You can't do anything with a penny. And the truth is, a penny saved is not a penny earned. A penny saved is actually a penny depreciated, essentially, because I want to give you a scenario. If you have £50,000, $50,000 in the bank, okay, and you don't invest it, in 10 years' time, that $50,000 is, maybe you might have 50,200 from 0.5% interest you get in your bank, whatever, right? So maybe you're left with just above 50,000. But because of inflation, okay, because of the cost of everything going up, because of the economy increasing, what's going to happen to that money is that 50,000 is no longer worth its value of 50,000 10 years prior. It's probably only worth the equivalent of 35,000, because your money over time depreciates in value whilst it is sitting in the bank because of inflation. So don't be that person that thinks you should save every single penny. You shouldn't save every single penny. You should invest your money. And also, you know, when people say like about a penny saved, look, you're never going to get rich with a penny. It's so important to learn how to make money. The best way, the quickest way for real financial success, you know, investing is great, and investing is really, really important when it comes to having long-term wealth and financial freedom, okay, and building your net worth. But the quickest way that you're ever going to really save money or have money is by earning it quicker, okay? So a penny is still a penny. Find out ways that you can make money, how you can double your income, triple your income, make 100K a year, become a millionaire, okay, by maybe starting an online business. And finally, the eighth huge money mistake that I see people make all of the time is opening a 0% overdraft, maybe fixed for 2 years, okay? And I did the same thing. Now, I opened an overdraft when I went to university. They told me I wouldn't pay any interest on the debt I went into for 2 years, okay? Now, in my mind, because I was really bad with money back then, I had a £1,500 overdraft, and because I wasn't going to get charged any interest on it, I basically treated it like I owned £1,500, okay? And I went right the way into my overdraft. I was like minus £1,450 in my overdraft for a long period of time, okay? I was absolutely dead broke. Now, at this point, I was earning no money. I was making no money. I was a university student, I was getting my student bursaries, I had rents to pay, I had food to pay for, and I was in a really bad, sticky situation. And as soon as I finished university, luckily enough, I managed to start my business and I paid that overdraft off really quickly. But if I hadn't paid it off so quickly, I would have got hit with huge interest payments. So the thing is, you should never spend money that you don't have unless it is good debt. What I mean by this is, if you're investing into real estate, getting a buy-to-let mortgage to then rent it out, that is good debt. Because yes, you're taking out debt, you're taking out a mortgage on a house, but you're going to treat that as a business and rent it out to a tenant and make income, okay? So that is good debt to have. You're leveraging money you don't have to make more money, okay? That is smart, that is good debt. But bad debt is where you're basically taking money out, which you're then going to have to pay back. You're getting in debt for something that you can't afford, which then you're going to pay back 10 times the price at a later date for. So don't get into credit card debt. Don't get yourself in debt. Don't open overdrafts. And if you ever get, in your 20s, maybe you go to university, you get offered to open a 0% interest overdraft, my big recommendation for you would be to just not do it. You're essentially taking money away from your future self that you're later going to have to pay back. And if you don't pay it back quick enough, you're going to pay back huge interest rates on that. Awesome then, guys. So hopefully you found some value in this video and I've helped you avoid a ton of mistakes financially. Now, I mentioned in this video about the importance of self-investment, self-education, and actually starting an online business to make some real money, make real wealth. I do have a social media marketing training program that's going to be linked down below, that's going to give you a full A to Z training on how you can start and scale a social media business. Now, this is the exact business that I started to take me from being minus £1,500 in debt, in my overdraft, miserable, hating my life, hating my job, to then dropping out of university and building it up to a 6-figure plus business for me in a very short period of time. So that training program is linked down below. Make sure you go and check it out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and drop a comment down below of any questions that you have, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.